I would like to see SC State maximize the number of students that we educate. We exist to educate students, primarily from South Carolina. And although students have choices, I want to ensure that South Carolina State remains relevant to be one of the top choices for the students from South Carolina and throughout the country. But I certainly want us to maximize our full potential. If we think we can house and educate 5,000 or 6,000 students, with all of the resources, then that's where we should be. And if we think we can get that but need additional resources, then we need to be able to advocate for those resources. I need to be able to advocate to lawmakers, to alums in my fundraising capacity, that if we had a new dorm, if we had this, we could grow our enrollment. We don't want to stifle ourselves because we hit a wall and say, okay, that's it. We're good with only 2,500 students. I certainly believe that we are operating below what our maximum number of students that we can educate. And like I said in a meeting recently, I don't want to get back to normal because, frankly, normal was not good enough, in my opinion. And again, that's, at our peak, the university was at about 5,000. I tease alumni all the time when they say, well, when I was here, we had 10,000 students, and I tell them we've never had 10,000 students, but perhaps if you're from Santee and you get here and see 5,000, you might think it's 10,000. But 5,000 is probably a great goal without any major infrastructure builds. And again, enrollment is important because it drives everything. Our faculty and our staff deserves additional pay, but we can't get there with the current enrollment. So enrollment drives all of those things that we're able to take those dollars from tuition and increase pay, hire additional personnel. So it drives because of the, although we're state supported, we're not fully state funded. So therefore, we have to make up the difference between state appropriations and how the university operates. So therefore, like most institutions, that's driven by enrollment. And again, I want to be clear that I'm not solely looking at enrollment just bringing any student in. And although I believe every student deserves an opportunity, but we want to bring students in who clearly has an opportunity to fully matriculate through the university. We don't want students who haven't shown that capacity if it's going to only further burden their families saddle their families with debt down the road if they can't matriculate. Now, with that being said, we certainly want to give every student an opportunity. But with my initiatives, my recent initiatives to grow enrollment, the baseline for those additive measures were a 3.0 GPA, and that's those students that we will grant in-state tuition that currently lives in Georgia or North Carolina, along with the legacy students whose parents or grandparents may have graduated from South Carolina State. Again, we're looking to boost our enrollment with additional sources we have not utilized in the past with the in-state tuition, but our criteria for those is a higher GPA in hopes that those students will have a higher propensity to graduate. Additionally, we believe that those, although we certainly educate a high number of first-generation college students like myself, I certainly understand the benefits from having a balance of first-generation college students and second and third-generation college students. I learned so much from my peers when, as a first-generation college student, as I got to visit them and meet their families and see what their parents, the type of work they were doing, and see their lifestyle. So I gained from that, and I believe by us bringing in legacy students at the in-state tuition, we will get a greater mix because those legacy students will be second or third generation college students, and their parents grandparents having been through college will be better able to assist them navigating the process, and I believe we'll see a higher propensity of those students graduating, at least from the financial side.